All right, everybody, welcome back to That 90s Pod for another deep dive into a 90s classic.
It's always exciting to get.
Yeah, and today it is a big one. We are talking about MMMBop.
Oh, yeah.
By Hanson.
It's one of the biggest
1997.
of the 90s.
Took over the world. And you know, it's funny because every time I even mention the song to anyone, they're like, oh my God, that song is stuck in my head.
Yeah.
I can't get it out.
It's
So we are going to dive into why this song and this band and everything about it was such a phenomenon in the 90s, and honestly, why it still has such a grip on us today. But before we do, if you are enjoying this nostalgia trip with us, do us a favor, hit that subscribe button and share this deep dive with your friends.
Yeah, spread that 90s love.
Spread the 90s love. Now let's get into MMMBop.
I think what's so fascinating about MMMBop is that it wasn't just a catchy tune, it really became a cultural phenomenon.
Yes.
But to really understand that, you have to think about what the music scene was like in the 90s. You know, grunge was fading out. You know, manufactured pop groups were kind of everywhere. And then bam, these three blonde brothers from Oklahoma burst onto the scene with this infectious blend of like pop and rock and soul. And it just felt so different.
It really did. It was like this breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
Like finally something fun to listen to.
Exactly.
But it wasn't just the sound, right?
Oh.
It just felt like MMMBop tapped into something deeper, especially for young people at the time.
Totally. It became kind of like an anthem for a generation, you know, grappling with all the ups and downs of growing up, that feeling that everything's changing so fast.
Yeah.
Remember, you know, the lyrics, you have so much time to make your mark and all the things that you've got will soon be gone.
Oh, yeah.
It resonated with so many people. And I have to admit, it resonated with me.
Oh, yeah.
It was like Hanson was putting words to all the emotions that we were experiencing.
Okay, full confession. Every time I hear MMMBop, I am instantly transported back to my childhood bedroom, blasting it on my boombox, probably wearing overalls.
Oh, absolutely.
Does this happen to anyone else?
Music has that incredible power to link specific songs to vivid memories.
Yes.
I mean, it's almost like every song has its own unique emotional fingerprint.
That's so true.
It would be so interesting to hear, you know, what comes to mind for you, our listeners when you hear MMMBop.
Yeah. Hit us up in the comments. Let us know.
Yeah.
But going back to the music itself.
Yes.
MMMBop, undeniably catchy.
Yeah.
But there's this really common misconception that the lyrics are just gibberish.
Right.
So what's the deal with that?
Well, it's true that MMMBop doesn't have a literal meaning.
Right.
I mean, the word itself is completely made up.
Right.
But that doesn't mean it's meaningless.
Okay.
The brothers have said that the song is really about, you know, the fleeting nature of time relationships.
Oh.
All those moments that just slip through your fingers.
So it's a profound reflection on the impermanence of life, disguised as a super catchy pop song.
Exactly.
My mind is blown.
Right.
I love it even more now.
Right. And think about how impactful that is, even if people weren't consciously thinking about what the lyrics meant, you know?
Right.
The feeling, the vibe of the song still got through.
I mean,
that's the genius of it.
Yeah. And speaking of genius, we have to talk about the Hanson effect.
Right.
I mean, love them or hate them.
Right?
They really changed the landscape of pop music.
100%. I mean, they paved the way for this whole new wave of boy bands.
Yes.
I mean, think about the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC.
Oh, yeah.
They all followed in Hanson's footsteps, incorporating, you know, those tight harmonies and poppy hooks.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, the whole heartthrob appeal.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And let's not forget,
Yeah.
Hanson was doing all of this at an incredibly young age.
Oh my gosh, they were so young.
Like mind-bogglingly young. Taylor was only 14
Yeah.
when MMMBop hit it big.
That's what set them apart from a lot of those manufactured pop groups, you know?
Yeah.
These were genuine musicians playing their own instruments, writing their own songs,
Yeah.
pouring their hearts out on stage. It was clear they weren't just a product, right?
They were the real deal.
And you know what? That authenticity resonated with fans,
Totally.
which is probably why they still have such a dedicated following today.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, if you're loving this deep dive into all things MMMBop, don't forget to subscribe and share the 90s love with your friends.
Yeah, we want to hear from you.
Yeah.
Now, while everyone knows MMMBop, what's even more fascinating is that Hanson's story didn't end there.
Right.
They've continued to make music. They're still touring.
Yeah.
They're connecting with their fans, you know, for over 2 decades.
It's incredible.
So let's dig into what happened after they went from those fresh-faced Oklahoma boys to, you know, these seasoned musicians
that they
are today.
Yeah.
It's really easy to kind of think of bands like Hanson, you know, as like one-hit wonders.
Oh, yeah.
But their story's so far from over.
Right.
I mean, what's really impressive is that they didn't just like ride the wave of MMMBop's success.
Yeah.
You know, they kept evolving and experimenting.
Yeah, with all these different sounds and proving that they weren't just like a fad.
Totally. You're right. It would have been so easy to just churn out more like bubblegum pop.
Right.
But they went in a totally different direction.
Yes.
And their later albums show like a real depth and maturity that I think surprised a lot of people.
Yeah.
I mean, you can hear influences of like classic rock and blues and even soul in their music.
Exactly. And that's one of the things I find so fascinating about their career is that they weren't afraid to take risks.
Right.
You know, they could have easily played it safe.
Totally.
But they pushed themselves creatively.
Yeah.
And I think that earned them a lot of respect, you know, from fellow musicians and fans alike.
For sure. And their fans have been on that journey with them.
Totem.
Like embracing the new sounds while still obviously loving those early hits.
Yes.
That's going to be like such a rewarding feeling for a band, right?
Oh, yeah.
To know that you've like grown with your audience and
Yeah.
that they're still digging what you're putting out there.
Yeah, it's a testament to like that genuine connection that they've built.
Yeah.
You know, they've consistently like engaged with their fans. They even created their own music festival, which is pretty unique.
That's so cool.
You know, so they've really fostered this sense of community around their music.
I think it also says a lot about their work ethic.
Oh, yeah.
Like they haven't just rested on their laurels, you know?
Mm-hmm.
They've been touring, they've been recording, they run their own label.
Yeah.
It's clear they're still super passionate about what they do.
Absolutely. And that passion is like evident in their music.
Yes.
I mean, whether it's like the infectious energy of MMMBop or like the more introspective lyrics of their later work, you can really feel the heart that they put into it. You know, they're not just like churning out songs.
Yeah.
They're telling stories. They're sharing their experiences.
Yes.
And really like connecting with their audience on a deeper level.
You know, it's funny. I remember when MMMBop first came out, some people dismissed them as like a cheesy boy band.
Right.
A flash in the pan.
Totally.
They have definitely proven those doubters wrong.
They really have. I mean, they've defied expectations and carved out this really unique path for themselves.
Right.
They're not just a 90s nostalgia act.
Right.
I mean, they're a band with like a rich history and a very vibrant present. And, you know, who knows what they'll do next.
That's the exciting part. But for now, let's shift gears a bit.
Okay.
And delve into some like fun facts and trivia
Okay.
about MMMBop and the band that made it famous. Ready for some Hanson trivia?
Hit me with it.
Okay, so we know they were young when they hit it big.
Yeah.
But did you know that Zac, the drummer,
Oh my gosh.
was only 11 years old
Wow.
when they recorded MMMBop 11?
That is insane.
It's incredible to think about like the level of talent and dedication that they had at such a young age.
Totally.
And here's another one, even though MMMBop is about like, you know, the fleeting nature of time,
Right.
the song itself has had this amazing staying power. I mean, it's still played on the radio. It's used in movies and TV shows.
Yeah.
It's practically a cultural time capsule.
It's true. It's become more than just a song.
Right.
It's become like the symbol of the 90s.
Yes.
It evokes like a very specific feeling, a sense of nostalgia for a time when things felt a bit simpler.
Totally. And for those of you who are like too young
Right.
to experience the 90s firsthand,
Yeah.
it offers a glimpse into that era,
Right.
a taste of what it was like.
It really does. And it makes you wonder
Yeah.
what other songs from our past might have like a deeper cultural significance
Yes.
than we realize.
Totally.
Maybe that's something we'll have to explore
Well,
in a future episode.
yes. But before we get too sidetracked, let's get back to Hanson.
Okay.
They've done a lot more
They have.
than just MMMBop.
Yeah.
And there are some hidden gems in their discography that deserve some love.
Oh, for sure.
And if you're enjoying this blast from the past,
Yes.
don't forget to hit that subscribe button
Yeah.
and share the 90s love with your friends.
Tell everyone.
We've got more Hanson goodness coming up, so stick around.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've talked about MMMBop and the band's evolution and their lasting impact, but what about some of their other music?
Yeah.
You know, for those who might only know them for MMMBop,
Right.
what else should we be listening to?
Well, if you want to hear how their sound has matured, I would definitely recommend checking out their album, Underneath.
Underneath.
It came out in 2004, and it's a really interesting departure from their earlier pop rock vibe.
Okay.
It's got this more like raw, organic feel with elements of soul and blues.
Interesting.
You can really hear their musical growth on that record.
Oh, Underneath. I'm adding that to my playlist ASAP.
You should.
Are there any particular songs from that album that like stand out to you?
Yeah. There's a track called Lost Without Each Other.
Locked Without Each Other.
That's just, It's a beautiful song. It showcases their vocal harmonies perfectly.
Okay.
And the lyrics are really heartfelt. It's definitely a fan favorite.
Okay. Lost Without Each Other Kiss.
Yeah.
Check. Now, I think it's also important to point out that
Yeah.
Hanson isn't just about, like, churning out hit records.
Right. Yeah.
You know, they've always been super active in philanthropy and social causes.
Yes.
They even started their own beer company,
Oh, yeah.
MMMBop,
Wow.
with a portion of the proceeds going to support clean water initiatives in Africa.
That's right. They've used their platform to make a real difference in the world, which is, super admirable.
For sure.
It shows that they're not just musicians, but they're also like conscious citizens who care about making a positive impact. And that, I think, adds another layer to their appeal. They're not just about entertainment. They're about something bigger.
Totally. It's inspiring to see artists use their success to give back. Yeah. It makes you respect them even more.
Definitely.
Okay, as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of Hanson, I have one final question for you. Why do you think their music has endured for so long? What is it about Hanson that continues to resonate with fans, old and new?
I think it comes down to a few things.
Okay.
First, their music is just plain catchy and fun.
Yeah.
MMMBop might be the ultimate earworm, but a lot of their songs have that same infectious energy that makes you want to sing along. Second, I think people appreciate their authenticity.
Yes.
They've always been true to themselves, both musically and personally.
Right.
And finally, they've built a real connection with their fans.
Totally.
They've gone above and beyond to engage with their audience, whether it's through meet and greets or their fan club or their own music festival.
Yeah.
They've created a real sense of community around their music, which is something special.
Beautifully said. It's been an absolute blast revisiting the Hanson phenomenon with you today.
Me too.
They're a band that deserves all the success they've achieved.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see what they do in the future.
Yeah, they're proof that talent, hard work, and a genuine connection with your fans can take you a long way.
Couldn't agree more. And for all you 90s music lovers out there, don't forget to check out our other episodes where we dissect more iconic songs and artists from that amazing decade. We've got a whole library of nostalgia waiting for you. So subscribe and tell your friends to join the party.
And as always, we'd love to hear from you. Let us know in the comments what other 90s gems you'd like us to unpack in future episodes. Until next time, stay rad.
Peace out.